So, buongiorno a tutti, good morning. First of all, I'd like to apologize that Luca and I will hold our presentation in English. We've learned French in school, but it's not enough to hold a presentation. So thanks for your comprehension on that. I think English will be fine for everybody. So we'd like to bring you our case. We're a destination in the southern part of Switzerland, and we're actually right now in this process of digital transformation. It is a very intense process, but very interesting, and this will be our agenda for today. I'd like to start off with presenting our new brand concept, which really brought us to communicate in a different way with our prospect customers and our return guests. I also will talk about the Ticino ticket. It's a guest card which has been introduced with the opening of the Gotthard base tunnel in 2016, and it is actually the base for our project with which Luca will take you through, which will be implemented next year, and will develop also with the opening of the Ceneri tunnel, another tunnel within the canton, which will help us to talk about Ticino as a city and not as a region anymore. So just for you to understand where we are, geographically speaking, Ticino is in the southern part of Switzerland, next to the border to Italy. Our culture is very much influenced by our neighbors. We speak Italian. Our food and wine is very much Italian. We like our wines. Especially also the architecture, and we benefit from a very Mediterranean climate. So our tourism season usually starts really early in March and goes up to October. A couple of key figures: we generate around 2 million overnights, hotel overnights, mainly from Swiss tourists. So we're very popular with our internal market, especially the Swiss-German part. And 10% GDP, around 22 people work in the industry. So just for you to have an idea, how important tourism is for us. Now, I'd like to talk to you about this new branding concept we introduced in 2018 in springtime. It took us about a year to actually really launch it. It was a very intense process with a design thinking company. In Ticino, we had several internal and external workshops with our stakeholders. We did some research, primary and secondary, asked our guests what they thought about us, what they thought about, our logo, our brand concept, etc. So that was quite intense. And this is where we started. This was our logo. I like to emphasize logo. For the last 36 years, it was very much recognizable because you see the colors of our flag. The red represents the sun. Blue represents the lake, the sky of our destination. It had been changed over the year. We added, the Edelweiss to undermine our proximity to Switzerland tourism. So it was very recognizable, and we really analyzed, do we really want to get rid of this image? Do we want to go endorse a new journey? And we had to realize that obviously we're operating now in a very globalized and a digitalized world. Our competition is internationally, on the way, and this really requires also the changed guests' needs and wants requires a new way of communicating and positioning ourselves. And what we did also. We worked on our brand values. This was a very important result of our workshops. And what we really realized is we don't have one attraction like the Matterhorn or the Eiffel Tower, which distinguishes us from the rest of the world. But we have single elements like, we combine the best of Italy and Switzerland. You really feel the dolce vita in our region, but it is not, it's not one element which is you can find Dolce Vita in Montreux or in the northern part of Italy. So the combination of all these single elements, however, create a unique Ticino experience. And this is what we wanted to work on. And I have a short video which underlines this aspect. I hope it works.
Thank you.
So this actually summarizes our new brand concept, which we launched in 2018, as I mentioned. I just want to highlight a couple of other points to summarize it again. We really want to work on experiences which are specific to our region and in its combination give you the emotional Ticino experience. We like to talk about this micro experience. As you've seen, there's a specific, we try to put a geographical point on the map, a distinct time, a date, an activity, and which is also very important, it should generate an emotion. Like maybe this visit to the art museum generates the inspirational emotion. If I go on the Lago Maggiore and do stand-up paddling, I will be happy. So we really want to talk about micro experiences and the emotions they generate, and this whole mosaic of this micro experience create, you know, the Ticino experience. You see the T of our brand, the geographical shape of our region, and the logo also takes up the colors of our destination as well as the emotions attributed to these colors. It was very important to us, you know, to talk about digital first. This is something which hadn't been done in the last years, but with the new brand strategy, this was a major focus. So the whole content which we elaborated first of all in this perspective, and we also tried to create stories putting the emphasis on local ambassadors, in order, you know, to make them really a part of our strategy, of our touristic product. And so, obviously, our guests love expertise from the locals, and we really try to endorse this strategy and this approach. It is also important to say that this brand strategy, this content strategy is consistent in all of the touch points, both online but as well offline. We really had a thorough look at all our printing materials. As a matter of fact, from 6 brochures, we reduced them drastically on 3, focusing on a magazine. I brought a copy here, which you know, wants to bring ahead the stories, a general brochure which gives you an insight, and a map with geography and the economical aspects of our region. I'd like to conclude talking about the Ticino ticket. I mentioned before, this is also an instrument which helps us to work on focusing on these experiences. It is a guest card, which you will receive if you sleep in a hotel, a camping site, as well as the youth hostel. It allows you to travel for free on all transportation in the whole region, from north to south, from west to east, in bus, post bus, as well as trains. Furthermore, it gives you discounts on attractions, museums, and as well like Lidos or, for example, also cable cars. And what we try to do is, I talked about micro experiences. We really try to show them, okay, try and go to the Verzasca Valley, but go there taking the Ticino ticket, traveling by public transportation in order, you know, to enhance this, not only the ecological aspect, but because traffic is one of our major problems in our destination, but also, you know, take your time, take a public transport, enjoy the region, and you know, have this Ticino experience, which for us is very important. This was the base for the project Luca will talk about, and I'll hand over to him now.